it's the habits that's what made me successful. Like not necessarily the clients that I have there, but just the habits of meeting new people and having a relationship. That's what really helped me out the most.
Welcome to the Insurance Refocused podcast, where we're highlighting real agent stories and how they are innovating to respond to the changes and challenges happening in the independent insurance industry. My name's Lindsay, and I can't wait to introduce you to my amazing co-host, who just so happens to be my mom, Carey Wallace. Mom, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Lindsay. I'm having a good day. I got a whole bunch of new EBITDA hats in today, so I'm pretty excited about that. Getting ready to go on the conference tour. So, things are good. How are things going with you?
They're going good. We just had a humongous storm roll through. And about 20 minutes ago, I was looking out my window and it was literally just like trees bent sideways. And then all of a sudden, all of the cushions started flying down the driveway. So I'm like running out barefoot in this rainstorm with wind everywhere, chasing cushions down the driveway. So that was really fun. I'm glad to be back inside in the nice dry environment. But I will caution anyone who's listening or on the call. I apologize if there's any loud thunderclaps because it's looking a little gnarly out there.
So is it wrong as a parent to say that I wish that I had some video of you running out there barefoot after the cushions? I mean, is that a wrong thing to say? I don't know. Anyway, so let's get to...
that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, let's get to today. I am super excited that we get to have a guest, Mr. Terren Moore of Moore Farm and Insurance from Greenville, Texas, joining us today. I got to tell you, Terren, I was super excited to meet you this year. I think that we met at One City World Tour. I'm not 100% sure if that was it, but I definitely know I saw you at a mastermind, and you are an incredibly impressive young man. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us today.
I am so honored to be here, Carey and Lindsay. Thank you all for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, Terren, it's great to meet you. I did not get the chance to attend, so I didn't get to meet you in person yet, but I, just from our short intro that we did right before we started recording, I already know that everyone who's listening is definitely in for a treat with this one. So I want to jump right in, and I would love to hear a little bit about your experience before you came into insurance, actually, in the agriculture business. So can you tell us a little bit about how your passion for agriculture started and what that career was like before you started in insurance?
Absolutely, Lindsay. So when I was 15 years old, I was involved in an organization called FFA, Future Farmers of America. I gave it a shot. I've always been a athletics guy. I did track. Always been a music guy. I've been playing music in church since I was 7 years old. So running and playing drums and piano have been my main deals. But then I joined this ag class, and I had a different friend group there. People seem to talk different there. They sound like how I sound now because I'm always around ag people. But I just knew it was very different. And I saw them build things with their own two hands, and they were so handy. They can fix anything. They grow their own food. And I just kind of fell in love with that. And so I told my parents, I said, I want to start my own farm. And I was 15 years old, so I can't even drive the truck by myself yet, legally. But I started my own farm. I started selling in the Winona community where I'm from, East Texas, near Tyler, and built a profitable business. I had my first employees when I was 15 years old, working the fields, and we were selling produce and making money during the summertime. And I got the first taste of freedom being a business owner. So that's kind of how I got involved with farming. I still farm to this day. We wholesale vegetables to restaurants. We also give some away to local organizations.
Hey guys, if you're looking to improve your bottom line, allow your team to operate efficiently, and really improve that customer retention, I believe you should check out Ascend. Ascend is the all-in-one insurance payment solution. They are focused on streamlining your invoicing, premium financing, accounting, and they'll even make your carrier payables for you. They are taking agency bill and making it as easy as direct bill. That is a game changer. They integrate with all of the major AMS players, and here's the best part. It's free. There is no subscription, no cost to you. They allow your customers to pay how they want. If you are interested in improving your efficiency, go visit ascend.com/insurance refocused and let them know that we sent you.
Paint me a picture though for like, I have no experience of like, or even like image in my head of what it means to have a farm. When you say you have a farm, like how many acres is your farm, or like how, like where did you start and where are you now?
Yes, my first field that I farmed is like 1 acre worth of produce, which if you can picture the size of a football field, that's about 1 acre. So we hand pick everything. So if you can imagine walking up and down a football field for 6 hours a day in the hot Texas heat, that's what we do. And now I have about 15 football fields. So
Wow.
you can kind of picture that's kind of where we're at now. All the land is not cultivated, but that's about the least that we have now is like 15 acres. And so it's a good bit of a pretty good bit of produce, and it's all hand harvested, fresh.
So I got to know, Terren, you started at 15. All right. So here's the deal. I mean, I graduated high school at 16, so I get it, but that's a little early to be running your own business. How did you manage like track, school, and running a farm? And I mean, now you're straddling running a farm and running an insurance agency. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it taught me a lot when I was young about time management. And I think as a business owner, people will say, well, hey, people outside of business will say, you got to live this balanced life and you need to balance this, balance that. There's no balance. I worked a lot. I sometimes couldn't attend social events because I was on the farm. I couldn't always hang with my friends whenever I wanted to. If they want to go do something, I couldn't always do that. But when you're the business owner, you do have the option to pick up and go as you please. And so there's flexibility. There's also not flexibility because things have to get done and they depend on you to get things done. So I'm just not a personal believer in balance. And, you know, when you're a business owner, you just have to get things done. There's no time limit to your task and to your mission and for your goals. So people will fight me on it all day. They'll say like, you need to balance this, balance that. I'm like, there's no balance. You just got to get it done. So.
Right. Tell me about how this led you into insurance. I mean, insurance is normally viewed as boring. At least that's what I thought about it before I actually got into the industry. And farming is a huge leap from insurance. So how in the world did that happen?
I know it's a pretty unique situation. So as I said, I was 15 years old when I started my first farm. So I'm also a first generation farmer. And so I had to seek guidance and wisdom from others to run the farm. Thankfully, my dad helped out. I had people in the church who helped out too. But I needed some more than that as well. And so I joined the Texas Farm Bureau as a member. And Texas Farm Bureau is a membership organization with an insurance benefit. You'll see where I'm going with this. So I'm 15, 16 years old as a member of Farm Bureau, where I meet other farmers all across the state of Texas who are also lobbying in Washington and Austin for farmer rights and eminent domain, GMOs, all that good stuff. But I love that part. I was a state winner of our discussion meets discussing issues that farmers face and land rights and all that good stuff. And actually, I made it to nationals, but I couldn't participate because I took a job as a Farm Bureau insurance agent. Conflict of interest. But the way I got into insurance from Farm Bureau, like I said, they have an insurance side, but I always ignored it. I was like, I'm an ag guy. This is what I do. I farm insurance. Is like, I really don't care. Then they said, Terren, you can run your own farm and sell insurance, and you can make X amount per year. And I was like, tell me more. And so that's really what got my interest, because I was going to do an agricultural job fresh out of college, and they told me to pay for it. And I'm not a greedy person, but I said, with that amount of money, I cannot run my farm the way that I want to run it. And so when they told me those insurance numbers and the potential, they said, if you work harder, you make more money. If you sell more, you get more. And I was like, that's kind of what I do now. Like, I sell produce. If I want more money, I just sell more produce. Like, it's just a very simple numbers. And that's what got my attention. They said you can work as hard as you want, make as much as you want to make. And like, here's an average of what other people are making in this business. And I said, I love insurance. It's not boring at all. Sign me up.
I love it, man. I love it. It is like the world's best secret, isn't it? It's because there's this perception that is not reality. I will tell you, I have been with so many insurance agents that know more about other people's businesses than I've ever would have imagined. You would think their day is the same every single day, but it actually isn't. It's I'll never forget. I was in the back of a Uber, and another agent asked the Uber driver, "What do you do during your real job?" He just drives on the side. And this guy was an elevator. He fixed elevators. And this agent who was with me launched into understanding his business because he's insured manufacturers that are elevators. I'm like, listen, I would never in a million years think that. But the cool thing is you can know a lot about an industry and then move to insurance and be incredibly successful in that industry and be able to do both, which is what you've done. And it's incredibly impressive, Terren. I mean, I love this industry, and I love how diverse it is, because your agency doesn't look anything like 50 other agencies that I've seen and the 50 more that I'll see beyond there, right? So it's just crazy. So I would love to ask you, how did you make your way inside the insurance industry? Like, how did you meet other people, and who are those people that have helped you build your business in insurance and become a business owner?
So when I was at Farm Bureau, they really talked a lot and trained us a lot on the importance of relationships. Now, as a former FFA student, a former band student, a former athlete, we all have heard the same thing about relationships, and it's all about who you know and your network is your net worth, all that stuff. But I'm not going to lie, Farm Bureau did a really good job of drilling in relationships. I mean, if every single client we had, we would do an insurance review, drive to their house, sit down with them, review their policy for an hour, every renewal. And if you have an auto policy, it's every 6 months. So if their rate goes up, or if there's ever an issue, like they're calling your cell phone, like they know you. I mean, it's a deep relationship. And so they did a good job of teaching me that at Farm Bureau. And so when I became independent, I just used those same skills. And Farm Bureau did an awesome job training me to where I was able to successfully launch my own insurance agency and just duplicate those habits of a good old handshake. And as far as face-to-face now, we're not as face-to-face anymore, because we're insuring the whole state of Texas. Which it was before, but we're literally, like, I just rode a farm in South Texas yesterday. It's like 10 hours away.
Yeah.
It's a big state. So
yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a big state. Yeah.
Right. I'll go drive to see them eventually, but just not as often, because that's 10 hours away.
Right. If you're like me and many other small businesses across the country where hiring, training, and retaining employees is a challenge, Agency VA has a solution for you. Agency VA has over 1,000 VAs hired, managed, and trained in the Philippines, Latin America, and India. But did you also know they have 100 licensed agents here in the U.S. that can help you manage your book? I use a VA who lives in the Philippines, and I absolutely love her. The process was simple. We had a consultation where they asked me my needs, goals, and concerns and matched me with Allie, who has been an absolute game changer for me. Employing Allie through Agency VA has allowed me to focus on my business without worrying about HR concerns, turnover, and monitoring payroll. The best part is the Agency VA team was eager to help my company and also make sure that Allie is getting employee benefits, a competitive salary to help her live a better life in the Philippines. If this is something that you are struggling with inside your agency, please visit agencyva.com/insurance refocused and set up a time to talk to them about your hiring needs.
So did a lot of your connections from being in the Farm Bureau, like did those become your clients, or did you have to just network all over again and start making new relationships when you opened your agency?
Yeah, so I did have a non-compete, and so when I left, I told my manager, which we still friends, we have lunch like once a month or so, and so like I said, relationships. I want to keep a good relationship with my manager, with my team, and so I honestly did not make a single outbound call to any of to my previous book. I know a lot of people do it. I just wasn't taking that risk, so I didn't really honestly transfer a whole lot of my clients. A lot of them still are with Farm Bureau. I said they're an awesome company. I had a fun time there. I was a top guy in my office and district many months in a row. So, but it's the habits that's what made me successful. Like, not necessarily the clients that I have there, but just the habits of meeting new people and having a relationship. That's what really helped me out the most.
So as an independent insurance agency owner, who are your mentors now? Like, who are the people that you lean on? And if you were talking to someone new that was moving from captive to independent, what advice would you give them to build their network?
So first, I'll shout out my mentors. I have so many, golly. I mean, because I'm a question asker. I ask a lot of questions, which is good because I write everything down and I put it into Excel, to a PDF. And I have notes on my computer, like I have a file of things that I just learned that I can look back on. So I have a lot of people that I call. Today I had a call with Charles McDade, aka Chuck, aka
I know him,
aka the other black guy in insurance. when I first went in, it was like we went to an insurance suit meeting, which I'm wearing a CIA shirt, Career Insurance Agents. They're my aggregator. But I went to a meeting and I walk in and I see this other black guy and I'm like, dude, what's up, man? And he's got his fro, like he's an awesome guy, but he is a absolute nerd tech guru. I mean, Chuck knows technology like the back of his hand. So I call him all the time. We had a phone call this morning, but he's also good with people too. Like he's good at, reading people and relationships. Like he's really good at both. So so Charles McDade, we're also in a magazine together. I've got sitting here on my counter. But him, of course, Mike Stromso, he's my actual insurance coach, and so he's someone that I lean on heavily, and has helped me implement a lot of things in my agency. Chris Paradiso, of course, everyone knows Chris. It's like I don't have to like say Chris because every agent would say Chris is my mentor because who does he not mentor?
Right.
But I met Chris at Insurance Soup, which is who my aggregator puts that event on, and we were just talking. Like he was like I didn't know who he was at first, and we were just talking and hanging out, and I saw him go on stage, and I was like, oh. And then he like talked about his agency on stage, and I'm like, oh, it's like that. But you never know. I thought he's just a good old guy because he was talking to me, just like, hey man, what's up? Where are you from? And then I see him like pop on stage, and I'm like, wow. And then he's invested in me heavily since we've gotten to know each other better, and he's kind of how I got introduced to Mike Stromso as well. So. I'd say those are my three. And I'm not missing a lot of people. Please don't be offended. But that's just who I'm thinking of, top of my head. But I make a lot of phone calls every day to people. But those are my three people.
But Terren, so you obviously got involved in Insurance Soup. So that was part of the connections where you've met some people. You joined an aggregator, and from there you went to a conference and you networked clearly. What advice would you give to other agencies that are starting? This is not an easy market to start in insurance. Like this just isn't, right? So what advice would you give them to make sure that they build their network and find those mentors? And so give me the advice.
I would say go back to the whole balance thing. There's no way to balance right now. Like, unfortunately, I mean, I'm working 12, 13-hour days to, honestly, we're profitable. We've been profitable every month this year. And I'm less than 2 years deep. So with my overhead and everything, I mean, we've been fairly profitable, which is a blessing, but that's what it takes. It's what it takes to be profitable your first or second year in the business. There can't be balance. Unless you can afford to hire 3 CSRs your first year and delegate everything as the owner, you can be prepared to work your ass off. Literally. I mean, it's just, there's no, I'm going to come in here and work 8 to 5. I just don't, if you can do it, you're talented. Like, you have a gift and a talent, but I'm a hard worker and I'm working until 9 o'clock usually. So it's 13, 14-hour days. I get up at 5 every morning and I go work out, I run, and I have a devotional in the morning, and then I start working at 8 o'clock. So I've already been up since 5, and I'll work till 9 or 10 o'clock. So it's just what you have to do to make it work. But that hard work, and it is not thinking that you're going to have this, like, be the CEO your first year. Like, that's my dream, is to be the CEO and be able to delegate most things and have someone take all the quotes, all the service, all the fires. But your first couple years, be prepared to be the janitor. Like, you just got to clean stuff up, put fires out. I mean, that's just the way that's going to be. So I would say that first, and then just meet a lot of people and invest in others, but with no strings attached. Like, I meet a lot of agents that are literally all over the U.S., and I just share with them my experience, and they share with me their experiences, and we're literally just friends. And a lot of times we'll cross business. I'll be like, hey, bro, I've got this lead. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know how to do this. This ain't my deal. Here you go. And they're like, hey, I've got a farm. And they're like, they think of Terren. They see farm insurance, more farms and insurance. Okay, go to Terren. And so we've written business from just being friends with other agents too. And so that's just going back to how important relationships are. And but yeah, I'd say hard work, relationships, and just being genuine and honest. That's the secret sauce right there.
Well, you've mentioned also a couple times that you run, you work out every day. How do those, like, daily habits that you've had, for anyone who can't see, he's flexing his muscles big on the screen right now. But how does that help you, like, be organized and be in the right mental space for all of this? I'm sure it plays a big role.
I think that my neighbor told me this. So I live in a neighborhood. My farm is like a half mile away from a neighborhood. So I live like in a subdivision. And me and my neighbors, we work out together. And he said, if I make, like, talking to himself, like, if I make my life hard, nobody else can make my life hard. Does that make sense? Like, if I make my life hard, like, I make hard decisions, I get up early in the morning, I stay up late, nothing else is going to happen that's going to be worse than what I'm doing to myself. Like, and so I'm a real big callous your mind type guy. Like, just, I don't know if anyone reads the David Goggins books, but I love his books, the ex-Navy SEAL, who just talks about his daily habits and just callousing your mind and, fighting those demons in your head. That's just telling you to quit. So that's how I enjoy working out. I've got an awesome trainer. I actually ordained their wedding. I have all their insurance, their personal insurance, their commercial insurance. I mean, we're pretty tight and stuff. If I miss a workout, they're hitting me up like, bro, where are you at? What's going on? So I have major accountability. I'm friends with everyone in the gym. I mean, if I walk into the gym and I don't know who you are, I'm gonna come introduce myself because like I just know everyone in the gym. So, but it starts my day off to where, for one, I'm grateful and I'm actually giving gratitude to God that I have 2 arms and 2 legs at work, because not everyone has 2 arms and 2 legs at work. Like, we take it for granted that we can walk and use our arms and lift things. Like, that's a gift from God. And so that's me just physically giving thanks to Him, that I can do that. And also, when you feel good, you just perform well. Like, I feel good. I run. I work out. I eat healthy. I meal prep. I drink a lot of water. I mean, it's the best lifestyle. So when things go south in the business, or if I have a upset client or a claim goes south and I'm getting yelled at and cussed at over the phone, they're threatening to give me a 1-star review and are threatening this and this and this, I'm like, okay, like, bring it on. Like, I just worked out for 2 hours this morning, or an hour and a half this morning, and gave myself hell. So whatever you're throwing at me, I promise you, it's not gonna be worse than me running 48 miles. I mean, me and Chris and a few other ran 48 miles one time. Like, it's not gonna be worse than doing something like that. So, like, bring it on.
48?
Are you talking about the 4x4 it's really a mind game, right?
It's all a mind game. Yeah, you're out there by yourself. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Your feet are hurting. You're hungry. You're sleep deprived. I mean, so many things go through your mind that you want to quit. And so when it comes down to your business, and like, it's so easy for me to work 14 hours a day. Like, I'm literally not tired. Like, I literally feel great. And I've been working 14-hour days for months, especially in this hard market. We're pivoting, and like, it's been a lot of work. But after doing something like that, it's like everything is so small, because your mind expands on how much you can actually do and how much capacity you're actually running on. It's so easy for me to work stupid hours, and I mean, just to go full force all the time. It's very easy now.
So I'm pretty confident, Terren, if you've got these mentors that I know all of them, I absolutely adore all of them. You have surrounded yourself with some incredible people. I am confident they have given you advice that sticks with you. And I'm also super excited about the industry, knowing that there's a generation of Terren Moores coming up. Like, I think that makes me so excited about the independent insurance industry as a whole. If you were talking to someone who's thinking about insurance, what piece of advice would you give as the mentor to someone else right now?
If they were first starting out in insurance, I'd first tell them how hard it actually is, because some folks paint this picture of it's all gravy. You know, you write a policy and you get paid on it every single year as long as it's active. And like, you know, it takes you 10 minutes to write this policy, and you write it, and then like you just wake up one day and you get a renewal, and it just hits your, you know, you're getting paid these big deposits, these big checks, and like, all you got to do is keep them happy. That's not what the business is, and that's not the model at all. There's so many touch points in between that year, and you got to set up your systems and your processes and your procedures. I mean, most of my late night hours is me sitting up working on an agency process and procedure book. Like, what do we do if this happens? What do we do if this happens? And we're working on our automations and stuff. So a lot of it's not even really insurance related. A lot of it is just when you're the agency owner, just doing business owner stuff. And so I first tell people that it's not easy, but my goodness, it is so worth it. I mean, especially going independent, my revenue has literally doubled from my top year as a captive. My top year as a captive, being there for over 4 years, I'm not even 2 years yet deep in the business, and my revenue has doubled for my best year as a captive. And so there are rewards. There's financial rewards. People will call you and say, thank you for getting my claim handled. People invite you to birthday parties and to their family. I've been invited to family reunions and birthday parties and gender reveals like crazy. They're like, hey, this is our insurance guy, you know, and like, and getting invited to the coolest thing is being invited to their grand opening for a business. That's probably my favorite thing,
awesome.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
I get to go to the grand opening and I'm sitting there and I've got my agency shirt on and they're like, yeah, this guy right here took care of our insurance so we can open up this business and have everything we needed for our business. And I mean, other business owners, that's the real deal. I love doing that. That's super cool. And also for my farmers, like, of course, I love farming. I'm a farmer myself. So going to their farm and seeing all their equipment and seeing how their crops are going, meeting their family, seeing little kids running around, running around the farm, in their diapers, and you can't put a price tag on some things. We're in business. Money is very important. Business makes money. That's where we're in business. Make money. People say, I just want to help people. It's like, you wouldn't do it for free. You're doing it for money. So money is very important. There's some pictures that we have in our heads as agents that you just can't get. I mean, I can picture my grand opening for a business that I went to. I can picture some of my clients' kids running around. I can picture when I ordained the wedding for my clients. Like, there's just so many like picture perfect moments that I've gotten to experience because you meet so many people. And so that's what I'll tell a new agent is, for one, it's not going to be easy, but it's so worth it because of those picture perfect moments. And also creating legacy for, I'm not married, I don't have any kids or anything, which also has been a big benefit, honestly, because I can work 24/7. But I do plan on getting married and have kids someday. But right now I'm just grinding away. But, when that time does come, I'll have something I can pass down to my family and to my kids and, possibly grandkids. You're creating something that's going to be here for generation after generation. So that's why I literally don't get tired. I literally okay, well, now I will say, on Sundays, I'm a church musician. I play piano and drums at church. And so on Sundays, I will sleep till 7:30, 7 or 7:30. That's sleeping in. That's pretty late, honestly. So I do get to rest. I do rest on Sundays. So don't think that I'm this guy that just goes 100% all the time. I do rest. I have a rocking chair. I have a rocking chair in my back porch where I sit in my rocking chair and I drink some sweet tea or a glass of wine. So I don't want folks thinking that this Terren Moore guy just doesn't sleep and just slays away at insurance all day.
Go.
Rest, and I do sleep. So I do sleep sometimes too. So just kind of paint that picture
too. You. It's good for you to sleep. It's good for you to do all those things. If another agent is listening to this who's around our age, getting started, how can they contact you if they're interested in learning more from you or having you mentor them?
Yeah, they can just look me up. Honestly, there's a lot of cool articles online. If you just Google Terren Moore, a lot of my farm stuff is on there. From I did a thing for Justin Boots. I've done some articles for them. I've been on national news a few times for my farm. If you look up I think NBC, it's either NBC or CBS or something. I've been on or Good Morning America. Where's Good Morning America at? What channel is that on?
I don't know. Well, I didn't realize we had a celebrity on though. Geez.
Oh no, not.
Yeah, we didn't realize you were all that, my friend. Wow.
No, but there's just if they want to get to know me, there's some cool articles from Good Morning America, Justin Boots, and a few ag organizations and stuff. But also my number is free to anyone. But I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm even on Pinterest actually. We have an agency page on Pinterest. I'm not looking up recipes or anything on there. I eat the.
Hey man, you're a farmer. You might be doing that. You never know, right? That's awesome. Well, Terren, it's been a pleasure. I could talk to you all day long. I sure hope I'm going to see you at a mastermind group near you. I'll definitely see you at Insurance Soup if you're going to be there. And I really look forward to catching up while you're there. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. I think there's so many agents that are going to think about this and think about, am I as disciplined as I need to be? Am I taking this seriously? Do I have the right expectations about agency ownership? There's a lot of people who want to be agency owners, and it's not for everyone. And I think you have to go in eyes wide open. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Carey and Lindsay.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Insurance Refocused podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to hit subscribe and leave us a review so you'll never miss us. Want to learn more about how Agency Focus can help you grow your agency? Head to agency-focus.com or email Carey directly at carey@agency-focus.com. If you need to get in touch with me, feel free to shoot me an email at lindsay@agency-focus.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.